especially the audience, is worth a ton.
Yeah. Let's talk real quick about the numbers behind the deal, and then I got so many more questions for you. But you were all in. You bought this property, developed it. You were all in for low twos. What was the number you were all in for?
2.3.
2.3 million. And you weren't planning to sell this property, but as a real estate investor, I know like a lot of the stuff that what we buy, we're buying in good locations. We're doing a lot of work, renovation, and putting a lot of risk up front. And all the work it takes to put these deals together, get them deaded up, close, do the renovation, do the build out like you did. Stabilize, marketing, all that. It's like, I don't want to like just throw these deals back. So I always have a long-term vision to hold. However, you never know when some fucking opportunity, some offer is going to come your way that's like too good to pass up. And that's exactly what you guys had. So 2.2 all in. And what did you guys exit at?
7 even.
And I think this is very important for the listeners out there because you alluded to this at the top of the just a little while ago. The real estate was valued less than 5 mil, but you exited north of 7 because of the audience. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put numbers on it because it's all a bit subjective. But when we created the asset, for one, we had a really difficult time getting an appraisal because, for one, those micro resort properties don't really fit into any of the buckets that traditional appraisers or banks look at, which makes it just that much more difficult. Now, thankfully, that's changing. I've been radically transparent with all of the numbers for Live Oak, so I hope that becomes a good comp for other people and just a case study as well.
Do you think micro resorts are more challenging to get lending for than like a traditional boutique hotel?
Yes, for sure.
Why is that?
Because most people they don't even know how to conceive of that. Is that a campground? Is that glamping? Is that a hotel? And so like historically, maybe but I can't really think of any examples of micro resorts before 5 years ago or something. It's sort of a new genre of hospitality, which opens up such an exciting conversation because people like myself, I didn't come from money. I didn't have real estate experience. I was a bookkeeper. I did have some construction experience, but I was a bookkeeper when I did this with $20,000 of savings. And, in less than a year, built an asset that less than a year later after that increased in value by over $4.5 million. So the opportunity is tremendous if you're creating something that's unique. So unique stays. And this dovetails with the question about audience, because if you're building something that's one of a kind, that's novel, there's a good chance you're going to be able to build a really big audience around that. So I've got a friend, Devin. Can't remember if I told you about him on the call.
No, I don't think so.
Devin Lorop. Check out his property. It's called the Pacific Bin, BIN. It's in Washington State. So he was an engineer, very smart guy, but 25 years old, I think. This was 2 or 3 years ago. He had this dream to create a shipping container home. So he bought 5 shipping containers for a few $1,000 a piece. He did all the engineering himself because that was his thing. Stacked them on top of each other. So they're like cantilevered, really cool. Bought like a 5-acre parcel in the middle of the forest in Washington. And then documented the whole process on social. So an iPhone and a $20 tripod was his equipment. And took him about a year, grew 1.5 million followers in 12 months between Instagram and TikTok. Because people were like entranced by this story and felt like they were following along. This was a dream that apparently a lot of people had. When he opened the calendars, he booked out for almost an entire year within a week and a half from his email list.
Yeah, got to raise those prices.
He was booking it like $1,000 a night almost. Crazy story. Now he's building opportunities have, as you can imagine, flooded him like you can't believe. Raising capital, building for other people, building more units on that property. So he's already built a second unit. But the point is, this was a unique concept. So this is one of those few cases where a single unit actually has the opportunity to build a massive brand around it just because it was so cool. And when you check it out, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I've got another friend, Brian, who's, look him up, it's Flohom, Flohom. He's building luxury houseboats. So when I think of houseboat, now you're in San Diego, so maybe you have a different impression. Maybe houseboats are great already here, but coming from Texas, houseboats are like awful. I mean, that's like rotten, cat infested, like really bad. And he had this idea, he's like, I'm going to rethink, basically create a micro yacht, essentially. So for $250,000, he built a houseboat. They're rad. I mean, they're awesome.
I got to look this up.
You got to check it out.
What's the name of it?
Flohom, Flohom. Now, here's the best part.
Flohom, and what's the name of it? You said it's micro yachts?
That's what I call it.
What does he call them? Floating homes?
Floating homes, yeah. So here's the cool part. This isn't the case in every city, but he's in Annapolis and Baltimore, a few eastern markets like that. And the zoning in those cities, because he's on the water, he can avoid all the STR zoning. In some cases, he can avoid the hotel zoning. So he's completely on his own. He'll go and talk to the city and they'll be like, yeah, just pay us the tax or whatever. So he gets to be in these prime waterfront 360 harbor view locations competing with the best hotel in the world, except he's on the water and it's an amazing concept.
So he just rents a slip from a local marina.
But here's the best part. He just bought his first marina. So he's verticalizing the whole thing now. He's going to do a floating hotel of these homes with floating saunas, with floating restaurants, with floating coffee shops. People love this. And this place has exploded. In the last 6 months, he's grown almost 100,000 followers on Instagram.
I'm looking at his website right now, and these are gorgeous homes
You should do
right
this
on the
to
water.
San Diego,
I mean,
dude.
the finishes, I mean, it looks like a legitimate, a build out that you would see on land, but it's on the water. I mean, this is really nice. And so what city is this in?
Baltimore and Annapolis.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
He's doing it out there in the cold weather cities.
Yeah.
Why isn't he coming out here to San Diego? Let's go, baby.
You should do it. Huge opportunity there.
There's a lot more bureaucracy and red tape here. It's hard just to get a charter license for a boat here in San Diego. My buddy Champagne Dave, he's got a charter license that allows him to take 50 people out, and it took him 5-6 years and a lot of headaches to get that thing. But maybe, I mean, shoot, you never
Are there
know.
houseboats here? Do people live in houseboats?
Not so much, because the waves here in San Diego, the West Coast, the waves are a lot bigger. And so, I mean, even out here in the harbor, like there's some pretty big swells when boats come by and stuff like that. So you'd probably have to be really tucked in. And you can make it work. You got to find the right marina. Probably can't leave the marina. Does this thing have engines and power? It can move around?
Some of them do, I think. I don't know if all of them do.
Got it. And so what's his play here? Is it like rent them out, he owns them and operates them, or is it to sell them?
All of the above. So
All the above.
now
Okay.
he's selling them to investors.
Okay.
So he'll sell them to just a one-off, somebody who wants to have a houseboat. If they want to live in it, great. But then he has an exclusive management contract for any of the marinas they operate in. So if somebody buys one, and a lot of people are just super passive, they just want to invest, they see it's a great play, he'll manage it, he'll build it. So he's making profit on kind of all parts of the deal.
Yeah.
And then with the marinas, that's the best play, because whether it's his own units or others that he's selling for, he can kind of control everything that happens there. He can set the whole vibe. He creates the experience. And then he's making money on the monthly rentals for those as well. So management, manufacturing, marketing, the whole bit, he's got it.
What do one of those things cost to build, ballpark, and then how much they rent for per night?
So the first one he built was around $250, but his more recent ones, I don't know exactly what his build costs are. I know what he sells them for. He's selling the new ones for between $400 and $500, and those things are renting for somewhere around an average of $500 to $700 a night, as far as I can see. And I mean, booking out.
So ballpark, what do you think that brings in annually? Ballpark.
I'm not good.
Just off the top.
Let me just do the math. If he's getting $600 a night, and I know he's around, actually just yesterday he showed me his numbers. He's at 96% occupancy for this year.
Year round.
Yep.
Oh, in Baltimore.
Yep, in Baltimore.
Damn.
$210,000.
$210,000 a year.
Yeah.
So shoot, I mean, you can pick one of those up and almost depends on what the expense ratios are, but that's a pretty damn nice cash on cash return.
Around 60%
for anyone. Wow.
60% margin, as far as I can see.
That's pretty cool, man. I know some people do the Airbnb game out here in their boats in San Diego. I got a boat down here. I never thought about it. I don't want to charter this boat, but I just don't want people coming over my personal boat. But as a investment vehicle to like do something like that, that would be pretty cool.
Dude, there's so many opportunities in the unique stay space. So
yes,
I mentioned shipping containers. I mentioned floating homes. Here's another idea.
Okay, let's hear it.
I just had not too long ago.
Let's hear it, Isaac French.
Old golf courses. I don't know about around here, but like where I'm at, there's lots of old golf courses that don't make sense economically anymore. And they're sort of starting to get a little run down, and yet they have this incredible natural asset in terms of the just beautiful landscaping. Quick point on that. Landscaping is the highest ROI investment I believe you can make on a property.
With a micro resort?
Yep.
Why is that?
So landscapes appreciate. So the day you build a structure is the most valuable that structure is ever going to be. Now, the underlying real estate, the land it's on, of course, will probably appreciate. But the structure is going to depreciate. That's why we have tax depreciation. However, with a landscape, the day you plant a tree is the least valuable it's ever going to be until the day it dies. The day you plant a bush, whatever it is, flowers, over time, those things mature and grow out and create that. And they're just so important in creating that vibe, that ambiance that you're after in terms of what you're selling, in terms of the Instagrammable content. So with a golf course, you've got a lot of that already built in. Now, you could theme a micro resort around golf as well. But when you layer on top the accommodations to a beautiful piece of property, you can turn what is, otherwise a going nowhere asset that doesn't make any money because people don't go there anymore, to an incredibly desirous, profitable asset that everyone wants to go to. That's unique, that's novel. Build a brand around it. Boy Scouts lodges. So I have another friend, Kimball and Christine. You got to check this one out. They had a dream. Actually, Christine got a rare form of cancer. They're a young couple a few years ago. After a year-long battle, she finally beat it. They went to Bali. Have you been?
Yeah, I've never been to Bali.
Me
I've
neither.
always wanted to
Me
go.
neither.
Okay.
But everybody's told me this, and they told me this too. It's the most inspiring place from a hospitality perspective. I mean, they crush it there. So they went to Bali to celebrate, just sort of rest up for 2 months. Came back with a new lease on life, literally. Super inspired, started looking for land. The guy literally had almost no money. He was a pastor at a local church making $45,000 a year in rural Ohio. Goes one day on Craigslist, finds this small parcel of land, calls the guy up. They tour that place. They tour some other places. None of them work out. The guy's like, I got one more place, but you're not going to want it. They go, there's this old 4,000 square foot Boy Scouts lodge in the middle of the woods that's just decrepit. And he just had this feeling like, this is the place. I got to make this work. And long story short, through a loan from a local bank, maxing out every credit card he had, and a big seller note on the back end. So that was the key for him there. He was able to buy this 10-acre parcel. So they're renovating this lodge, which is beautiful. The renovation was terrific. Here's the craziest part. They struck gold like 2 months into it. One day he's down on the hillside below the lodge, and it's so wooded that he had never actually gone down and explored the property. And he notices this little sandstone cliff towards the bottom. And this idea just popped in his mind. So 2 months later, after a bunch of backbreaking work, a pond liner, a recirculating pump, and a small dock, they created a private waterfall with a heated swimming hole.
Whoa.
Absolutely crazy. They launched exclusively on Instagram. They have over 600,000 followers today.
What's the name of the Instagram page? I'm going to look it up.
The Cliffs at Hocking Hills.
The Cliffs at Hocking Hills. That's out in Ohio, right?
Yep, Ohio. $2,100 a night they're renting this place, and they're at 90% occupancy year-round in a seasonal market. So then here's the crazier part. Story gets better. A year later, after earning a pretty penny in profits, they bought an adjoining 80 acres of land. They built 3 more luxury bungalows. Same thing. They were like, we need to have another kind of cool feature here. They're digging around in the dirt, and 8 inches under the soil, they hit stone. They start digging it. There's this beautiful sandstone formation. So it took them a month of hand excavation mostly and power washing. They reveal this beautiful sandstone. You'll see this in part of their content too. They formed up concrete walls that matched it. They put another pump in, same situation. They've got this incredible sandstone water feature with cascading waterfalls. Becomes this anchor feature that rents out the whole property. And I've never seen unit economics on a short-term rental on a hotel that come anywhere close to this property. It's wild. So now he's doing a cliffside hotel on the property. I mean, he said he could build for the rest of his life. He's got 90 acres now. He's going to pass it on to his 5 kids. He's never going to sell it. If he were to sell it, the audience value alone is worth millions of dollars because of those direct bookings that they're getting.
I'm looking at their page right now. I mean, stunning photos. And then big audience right here, like you said, 600K. A lot of people sharing their stuff. I mean, a lot of the reels that I'm seeing, got 1,000, 2,000 shares just for one reel, people sharing. That's ultimately how you grow, but man, sick. So how old is this property? It looks like they just built it.
They built it, they renovated the lodge. That's the new one.
That waterfall is sick, dude.
They renovated the lodge in 2020.
Okay, so this is a pre-existing property.
Boy Scout Lodge. They renovated it. But it was just, again, like this decrepit asset that nobody wanted, and they had a creative idea for it, and were willing to do some hard work.
Damn. And it's like, it's classy too, right? Because some people do these designs and it pertains to like a specific demographic, or maybe it's solely for children, or it's got a certain theme. but this is like a classy, timeless theme that can appeal to people of all walks of life, all demographics, which is